Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm trying something a little different. I picked up a pair of bright pink pantyhose from Amazon, specifically the Cozy Wow 80D opaque tights in the fuchsia color. And I want to share my honest thoughts about how they feel, how they fit, and what it's like wearing pink pantyhose as a guy. Now before we get into the review, I just want to say that if you're new here, I personally enjoy wearing pantyhose because of the comfort and the smooth feeling they give on the legs. For me it's mostly about comfort and the texture, not necessarily fashion. So the pair I'm trying today is from the brand Cozy Wow. These are their 80 denier opaque tights, which means they're thicker than typical sheer pantyhose. They're made with 84% nylon and 16% spandex, which gives them a lot of stretch. When I first took them out of the package, the material felt very soft. The microfiber fabric actually feels smoother than I expected for a pair of tights that only cost around $8. Putting them on was pretty easy. The stretch in the material is very noticeable, and you can tell the spandex blend allows the tights to stretch in multiple directions. The waistband is also something I noticed right away. It's a high waist design with about a 4 cm waistband, and it feels pretty secure without being uncomfortable. Sometimes with pantyhose the waistband can roll down or feel too tight around the stomach, but with these it actually stayed in place pretty well. I ordered the large to extra large size, which according to the size chart is recommended for people between about 5'5" and 5'11" and roughly 140 to 190 pounds. The fit on the legs feels good. They don't feel overly tight like compression tights, but they still hug the legs nicely. One thing that surprised me is how smooth the fabric feels when you move around. The microfiber yarn gives them a really soft texture. Another detail I noticed is the reinforced toe. That's actually pretty important because pantyhose can rip easily if the toe area is too thin. With the reinforced toe design, these feel a bit more durable compared to cheaper tights that tear after just a couple of wears. Now let's talk about the thickness. These are 80 denier tights, which means they're considered opaque. When you first look at them, they appear fully opaque, but once you put them on and the fabric stretches, they become slightly semi-opaque. So depending on lighting and how much they stretch, you might see a little bit of skin tone through them, but overall they still provide good coverage. That thickness actually makes them great for cooler weather. I could see these being comfortable during fall or early winter. According to the product description, these tights come in more than 30 different colors. That's honestly one of the reasons a lot of people buy them, because the color selection is huge. You can get classic colors like black, beige, and gray, but you can also get bright colors like red, purple, yellow, or this fuchsia pink that I'm wearing right now. And that brings us to the main topic of today's video, the pink color. Pink pantyhose are definitely not subtle. When you put them on, the color is very bold and very noticeable. For me personally, pink pantyhose on a guy are extremely eye-catching. If you're someone who doesn't care about what other people think, then honestly you could wear these in public and just treat them like part of your outfit. Some people really enjoy bold fashion choices, and bright colored tights can definitely stand out in a unique way. But for me personally, I probably wouldn't wear bright pink tights out in public. And the reason is pretty simple. I do enjoy wearing pantyhose, but I usually prefer more neutral colors that don't attract too much attention. For me, the appeal of pantyhose is mostly the comfort, the warmth, and the smooth feeling on the legs. Pink pantyhose, on the other hand, are extremely noticeable. If you walk outside wearing bright pink tights, people are definitely going to look. If you're confident enough to handle that, then honestly go for it. But for me personally, wearing pink pantyhose as everyday clothing would be a bit of a challenge. That said, I still think they're fun to try. Sometimes experimenting with different colors is part of enjoying clothing and fashion. And for certain situations, pink tights could actually work well. For example, people often use colorful tights for cosplay, costumes, dance performances, or themed outfits. In those situations, bright colors like fuchsia actually make a lot of sense. Another thing worth mentioning is the comfort level. Based on my experience wearing them for a while, they are actually quite comfortable. The fabric is soft, the stretch is good, and they don't feel restrictive when moving around. I also looked through a lot of the customer reviews on Amazon, and many people say these are some of the most comfortable tights they've worn. Some reviewers even said they bought multiple pairs in different colors because they like them so much. Others mention that the waistband is comfortable and doesn't dig into the stomach. Some taller users also said the legs are long enough, which helps prevent the tights from constantly sliding down. Another positive comment I saw was about durability. Several reviewers mentioned that the material feels strong enough to avoid tearing easily, especially compared to very cheap pantyhose. Of course, like most tights, you still have to be careful with sharp nails or rough surfaces. Pantyhose in general can snag if you're not careful. But overall, these seem to hold up reasonably well for the price. And speaking of price, that's another big advantage. These usually sell for around $8, which is actually pretty affordable for a pair of tights. Considering the comfort, color options, and decent durability, the value is actually pretty good. So overall, what's my final opinion on these Cozy Wow Pink Pantyhose? From a quality standpoint, they're soft, stretchy, comfortable, and surprisingly well made for the price. From a color standpoint, the fuchsia pink is definitely bold and very noticeable. For me personally, pink pantyhose are more of a fun experiment rather than something I would wear every day. I enjoy wearing pantyhose in general, but wearing bright pink tights in public would definitely be a challenge for me. Still, if you like colorful hosiery or you're confident with bold fashion choices, these could be a really fun option. And if you're simply curious about trying pantyhose as a guy, these are inexpensive enough to experiment with. So if you want to check them out yourself, I'll leave the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy content about pantyhose reviews, hosiery comfort, and trying different tights, feel free to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.